Good afternoon and welcome to Social Media Fridays, episode 48. Each week we meet here to wind down and talk about what happened this week in the world of social media. During the week we post topics on the Social Media Fridays community, you can too, and we come here to discuss them. Our first topic today, if I can find the right button, is it could be it could be a fake story. It could be. We emailed Larry Page for comment and received no response. So I suppose you can read into that what you will. And apparently Google is testing a new collections feature that seems to be part Pinterest, part blogging. Google's official response to this, of course, is no comment. I should point out, Masataki, you're a Google top contributor, and obviously you won't participate in this comment.
No, it puts me.
I understand.
Fine, so
yep.
No.
I understand that totally. In fact, I probably shouldn't have included this article, but anyway, I wasn't thinking, as always. Edwin, did you see this article?
Yes. At least it's nice that there is some new thing for Google Plus, because it has been a while. I think since Vic left, nobody there wasn't any update, was there?
And I mean, it's at least it shows that there is. It's sort of like a one of those paddles that they put in and they put on the chest of the patient, and they say stand clear, and they put 40,000 volts through the chest of the patient, and the sinus rhythm begins, and the line the flat line begins to beep. That's the way I look. I'm heartened by the part blogging, because that's what I think Google Plus really needs, some sort of repository for the great amount of content. I mean, sure, there is a thing called Blogger, but Google Plus is sort of an upper echelon, if you like, and some sort of a blogging format would be, I think, a plus. But they'd have to fix a lot of things. They'd have to make Google Plus searchable. Now, if you try to search for posts that you made in 2011 or 12 or even 13 or 14, it's unlikely that you'll find them. That's something that they've really got to fix. Any comments? All right, let's move on then. Here we are. This was posted by Meher Bhagat, the world's most important social media sites and apps in 2015. Not sure if onlineownership.com is there, but certainly should be. I had a look. There were Google Plus was mentioned as an important social media site, as was LinkedIn and Medium and so on. Hands up, which of you guys had a look at this today? By the way, I reckon Slawomir Zudanek is watching us at this very moment.
So I'm just looking at what I use. I don't use them all. So I have Twitter on my phone, I have Facebook, LinkedIn don't think I have it on my phone. Maybe, but I never use it. Xin, never heard of it.
I think it's very much a German thing, isn't it? So it's
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was sort of LinkedIn. Essentially, it's a LinkedIn in Germany.
Okay.
Xing, right?
Yeah, Xin.
Yeah.
Ren. I never used that one. It turns literally everyone's website. It's China's largest social platform. It works similar to Facebook. Google Plus, well, we are on Google Plus. Discuss, yeah, sure, I use Discuss to comment on blogs, but I don't have the app or use it in any other format. LinkedIn Pulse, not even know what it is.
I mean, you can. I mean, you really can't be expected to be using all those, right? Because some of them are very much localized to particular markets.
Snapchat. I do have Snapchat. What's nice about Snapchat, I don't post selfies because I'm not really good at it. What is nice is that on holidays like Carnival, you can go to all the different Snapchats of people all around the world. So you see people from Brazil, people from Germany, from Holland, everywhere they celebrate Carnival. It's quite a nice experience because you're going from one part of the world to the other part. At Easter they had something similar. So that's nice for me. Snapchat is more about consuming content than creating content.
Tumblr, I like Tumblr. I've never used it, but there's some great little repositories of interest on Tumblr if people put their mind to it. Pinterest, of course, Pinterest is mainly women, which is why Tim Capper is there. Twoo, that's Belgian. That's very close to you, Edwin.
Yeah, it was rebranded. How was the old name? It was. I joined this year. They rebranded it into True. I joined the old one. How was that called? I'm not sure anymore. I haven't used it in over 3 or 4 years. So, but I did get an email address and an email last year. I think it was in December that I had to move over to this particular platform. But I'm never used True.
Vine, sorry, we skipped Instagram and YouTube. We also skipped MyMFB, which is a Muslim alternative to Facebook. That's a good idea. While it might sound ambitious, it's growing quickly and offers many of the same post, update and sharing features as the original Facebook and is already immensely popular in some parts of the world. I can see that work, particularly here in Australia, where we've got a lot of mindless yobbo white trash racists on Facebook sharing their stupidity. I think that's pretty smart for the Muslims to have their own Facebook.
Yeah, for large groups like Muslims or Christians, is there something similar in the US? If you know, or
Actually, it would be good.
the Christian music and stuff, that's quite big. The Gospels, and there's a lot of money to be made there. So I would be surprised if there's a large alternative to a Christian Facebook, so you like.
We really need one for the atheists and the Christians, that they could go off to their own and have their little squabbles and leave us alone.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a lot of money to be made with atheists. With Christians, you have all the gospel and all the books and what have you. So that's if you have a specific social media that's large enough and well known within certain groups, you could market that. I'm not sure what the Muslim Facebook has.
And then we have YouTube, quoted here as saying, as a video sharing service, YouTube has become so popular that its catalogue of billions and billions of videos has become known as the world's second largest search engine in some circles. A well-known actor recently declared that it was also the internet rubbish tip. I think that was Ricky Gervais. 300 hours of recorded video are uploaded to YouTube every 60 seconds.
And people also use it as to make a playlist, right? For songs and basically no alternative to Spotify. So it's not only video sharing creation. Instagram, I never used it. It's a Facebook property.
Mainly used for sharing photos of your breakfast.
Or lunch. Vine. Vine is a little bit similar to Snapchat, no? Where you have short videos shared on Vine. Vine is
incredible talent on Vine. I've been hooked in a couple of times looking at Vines. Some of them are very creative. Go ahead, Edwin.
Yeah, and it is a Twitter property, so I think if you share the Vine on Twitter, there's it looks a little bit nicer than sharing something else on Twitter. WhatsApp. WhatsApp is actually quite popular within my family. It's an alternative to SMS. But this, well, if you're on Wi-Fi, it's free. Do you use it, Jim?
No, I don't. No.
There's something. Sorry.
You go ahead, Masataki.
And I think there's something similar called Line, which is extremely popular in the Far East and Southeast Asia. It's similar to WhatsApp, as far as I know.
Yeah, and WhatsApp is interesting because it's also used for businesses where people text each other. There was here in the Netherlands there was a case about somebody instead of phoning in sick, he WhatsApped his boss and said that he was sick. And the they went to court because the boss said, well, I didn't receive your SIG, so I'm going to fire you. And the judge said, looked at WhatsApp, and there was a green or blue thing, meaning that it was sent and received. So he couldn't fire his employee.
Oh. Here's one that Tim Capper will know all about. It's VK.com, promoting itself as Europe's largest social media site. VK.com is essentially the Russian version of Facebook.
No idea. Sorry, Jim.
All right,
Yes.
Meetup. I haven't even seen Meetup, but it's a perfectly named platform because it's perfect for organising local groups around specific interests. And this could be the platform that the Corby initiative is balanced on, Tim.
I've come across Meetup a couple of times, but personally I never used it.
Mm-hmm. Secret. This might be the best social media app that most people haven't tried. The premise is simple. Join into a group of friends or create your own, then share an anonymous message. It's great for fun interactions, idea starters, or just finally getting something off your chest. So one thing I've noticed, there's no lo.co in this list and no tsu.com.
Are they still around?
I think I won that bet.
You may have, yes, I think so.
And last but not least, Medium. If you've ever wished that social engagement could come up with an ongoing update, how-to manual written by the experts, Medium might be just what you're looking for. With lots of helpful advice, tips and articles, it can give you everything you need to start connecting like a pro.
Well, that was the list.
All right. What other items of general business do we have this week, guys?
Well, with regard to this list, personally, if you are on to social media, that's about the max. Maybe you can add one or two extra, but you're probably not that engaged as in the other two. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I really don't have anything in my head to respond with, Edwin. Sorry. Mr. Tucky.
Sorry?
Bail me out here. I'm dying, mate.
No, sorry, I couldn't quite catch what was happening in the last few minutes. I have some issues with the audio on my side, I think.
Edwin wants to know what you think about this subject, and he'll repeat what he said now.
Oh, yeah. How many social media do you use?
Oof,
And what is the max, do you think?
okay. How many do I... Okay. How many do I have accounts with? How many do I use? For example, I do have an account with I have an account on Facebook. Don't really use it as a person, but I do have pages to which I post via Hootsuite, for example. So I'm not so sure whether I would count that as something that I use actively. I have few accounts on Twitter. Again, I didn't really use it. So the only thing that I really do use on a daily basis is Google Plus. I have a LinkedIn profile. I do like it, and sometimes I use it to contact people. And that's the same with that's actually the same with Facebook. Sometimes I have to log into Facebook because that's really the only way to get in touch with certain people. I mean, they don't have their email addresses, for example. The email address has changed. The best way to get in touch with a person with a reasonable chance of success, that can be a Facebook. So I sometimes log into Facebook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. I have commented on Discuss platforms. I do have an account. I don't use Snapchat. I do have a couple of Tumblr blogs. I do like Tumblr. I think it's a pretty good, intuitive, easy to use blogging platform. Pinterest. I use Pinterest, so yeah, it's quite a few. And beyond that, no. So how many would that be? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think. So I at least use very loosely defined 8 on this list. And I don't think I could really spend any more time on other platforms. I mean, I think I'm already spending too much time on these various different platforms.
Well, I'm useless. So I'm basically Google Plus only. I post on Twitter. So Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and YouTube, and that cuts me out.
Well, I'm mainly on Facebook and Google Plus, but I use Twitter from time to time. LinkedIn, I do have a profile, but I'm not really using it.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Snapchat only really on special days to consume the content.
I do have an issue with LinkedIn because they tend to spam people, don't they? They look through your address book.
Some do. Some do.
Yeah, but that's what Twitter does too, no? Or is that only at the sign-up that they look at your address book?
Yeah. I give everybody I give everybody the opportunity to spam me once. Well, I'd like to talk about Google Plus if I can.
Sure.
Okay. So we had this post earlier about different things thought for Google Plus, and maybe that's an addition to, or maybe that's a new direction. But what I'm thinking is that Google may drop Google Plus because they don't realize what they have. I mean, Google is a metrics-focused company, and if the numbers aren't there, they'll drop a product, quick smart like Buzz and Google Wave and Google Reader are prime examples of very popular services. Orkut in Brazil, another example of a very popular service just dumped. And I think Google, the management of Google may not realise what a gem Google Plus is. I've been on the internet since 1996, 2 years before Google. In fact, I was writing code in Dataflex for DOS. I think before Larry Page was attending school, I think. But in all that time, I didn't make a lot of friends on the internet, and yet on Google Plus, I've made 17 friends, and I consider all of them, very close friends. That's for me, Google Plus has been a very positive experience. And yet for the Googlers, apart from a few notable examples like Jonathan Zunger, I should say, and say Avinash Avinash, and I saw Fintan Costello posting the other day. A few would probably look at Google Plus as a positive experience, but most have had their ears clipped on Google Plus because it's an egalitarian platform, and I mean Googlers basically regard the great unwashed, in other words, everybody who is not a Googler, as a muppet, and it must gall them to have the Muppets outsmarting them. And so, I mean, I look at Sergey Brin. You guys probably remember when before Google Plus went live, Sergey Brin used to drive us nuts with posting his photos and stuff like that. He hasn't posted since last September. Larry Page has just posted recently, but apart from that recent post, which is basically I suppose you'd say it was a commercial post, the last time he posted was November last year. Eric Schmidt he's a bit more prolific, but maybe someone is doing that for him. But yeah, so given that Googlers didn't, I mean, the Googlers were certainly posting initially, but the very few of them are still posting. Very, very few are still using it socially. So, for them, Google Plus hasn't been a positive experience, and yet for me, with all of the platforms and all of the software and all of the opportunities for nearly 15 years before Google Plus came along, I didn't once find something which was worthy of spending my time on, and yet I found it in Google Plus in bucket loads. And so, yeah, that's my concern, that Google will drop Google Plus, not because they hate it, but because they don't realise the unique set of circumstances that Google Plus is. That's about the end of my rant. I'm interested to know what you guys have if you guys agree or disagree with me. You're all in that 17, by the way. All three of you are in that 17 of the 17 people I'm looking at right now in my circles that are close.
Oh, look at Tim.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but it's a nice platform, and on Facebook, I never got past my family and friends, right? And here on the Google Plus, I found new friends, so that's a nice thing. But I also think that people are scared of Google Plus because Google is known to kill product. So if they are on Google Plus and invest time there, how long will it last, right? Will it be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
And if you're on Facebook, you know that Facebook will be around the next year and over 5 years. And with Google Plus, I'm not that sure if Google Plus will be here 5 years from now.
I think that's been an issue, and I think that's been the issue with, for example, the business side of things, local businesses and things like that. It's very difficult to future-proof, in the sense that you could put it two ways. You can say that Google Plus is constantly changing, which is a good thing. On the other hand, it makes it very difficult because you might miss an update or two here and there, and things are a bit different, and then you have to do catch up. So I think that's been somewhat of an issue, and there are certain things that, for example, the whole authorship thing. Quite a few people invested in that quite heavily, the idea of authorship and Google Plus profile as the mediator of that authority, and then they essentially got rid of rel equals author. So yeah, I think that's an issue because people are investing their time and effort in certain things and can't be sure whether they will be around in a few years' time. And I think that is an issue, I think.
Well, with regard to the auto rank thing, there was Search Plus Your World, and that's still live. So there's still an opportunity for brands to rank higher in the search results if they are in Google Plus and people are logged in and using Google Plus. But is that enough? Is the platform itself enough? I think Stone Temple Consulting estimated it was around 33 million people, which is a lot of people, but not enough for Google, maybe.
Yeah, and from a business perspective, are those 32 million people the right kind of people for that particular business?
Yeah, I don't see Google Plus as the way forward in terms of brands, brand pages, Search Plus Your World. It doesn't give enough. But in terms of business pages, then I think it will be around. It'll stay around with that. And I'm going to take a wild guess, but I would say 80% of all the Google Plus active users are local business pages.
It'd be interesting to know how many businesses actually claimed and verified.
Whoa, yeah. I would say only a small percentage of the potential, because when I go on my spam hunts, I find you know, huge amounts of unclaimed business pages out there, a massive amount. So it's got a very large growth potential in that sense. I mean, can you imagine if every business out there, well, eligible business out there, had a business page? I mean, they would trump anything.
Yeah.
But it's just getting it out there.
Yeah, and it's not just businesses, it's all anything that has an entry on maps, right, as something. So, you know, the local park will have a page associated with it.
Yeah, local parks, state parks, libraries. And some state parks will be even bigger, because if it's a national park, you have all the different visitor centers in it.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. Yeah, it is big. And obviously individual practitioners can also. So that would be doctors, dentists, or any practitioner, including estate agents, accountants, advisors, monetary mortgage advisors, things like that. They can have their own individual page themselves, practitioner pages. Yeah, it's big. This could potentially be the reason for that GYOB. Because they're rolling it out to every single city in the States.
Yeah. It is, I think, getting. Sorry, good.
No. I mean, that would be big if that rolls out. How they intended to roll it out. I think it's been live for a couple of months, and they've already got another 500,000 businesses signed up. So give it a year, and that's 1 million. As it starts getting a bit more, widely known, it could be very, very, very big.
Is this a Google initiative?
Yes. What they've done is they've just essentially created an easier interface than the Google My Business. So it's a separate website, and it's an easier interface. Someone can just type in their name or their address or postcode and see if their business is listed. And then it kind of interfaces with the maps, business pages. So it's kind of a easier looking interface where they would do the search, then they would claim it, and it merges into the current business pages, My Business pages. And then they're essentially on, they've created their business page and they're on. And then it's back to using, obviously, Google My Business, normal Google Plus, to manage it. So it's essentially a nice little easy, quick check. Are you on, register it, and then it merges it.
I think Google Plus's challenge, to a certain extent, in terms of the local side of things, is to get to people's minds that it exists in the first place. Because for many different business sectors, there are existing sites and platforms that perform similar functions. You might be Yelp, or maybe TripAdvisor.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize that it's actually a business page, in the sense that, coming from the forums, 9 times out of 10, the question is, why is my telephone number showing up wrong? Or why is my opening hours showing up wrong? And then you'd be like, okay, that's your business page. And you need to claim and verify it so that you are able to manage it. They just think it's part of like the Google search results and don't actually realize until there's a problem that, and they seek out that, oh, I can actually own that page. That can be my page.
Yeah. I think it's that knowledge gap, if you like, or just that Google hasn't really made it clear enough to the potential audience.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
This is the kind of thing that they could actually run a TV or radio ad.
Yeah, it would. That would be
That
good.
would help, because I don't think business owners really understand that.
No.
Most of them don't know the existence of such a thing, because
because the thing is if you've got your address on your website, ultimately at some point that business page will be created. And let's say a large business, well, even any business really, they'll be searching and then they'll see it up there, and it's become part of the normal ecosystem of the search results. And they are just used to seeing that there with their business name and the map, and they think, oh, that's just part of the search result kind of thing.
Part of the magic.
Yeah, and until they actually have an issue with an opening or closing time or something, do they actually realize, oh, hang on. Or another one is if they've searched for another company and they have the business page appearing, and let's say it's got a couple of reviews, some reviews showing, and then, let's say it's an active business page, and then it's got recent posts underneath, and their brain goes, hang on, why doesn't mine have that? And then that's when the research period begins. But for them actually realizing that, well, I can claim it, verify it, use it, brand it, make it look mine, take complete ownership of it, that step is missing. And yeah, it would be the perfect opportunity for an ad.
Yeah, I've seen online ads, but I don't think I've seen on other medium. So not on TV or...
Yeah.
I didn't read the papers now. I mean, the actual physical, printed on paper newspapers. So I don't know. But the newspaper ads might be a good thing, because, as you say, people are reacting to a situation where something odd happens, and business is not checking it every day. I mean, it might be something that they do every so often, especially a small business, a single person, run by a single person, a family-run business, small businesses. Or they don't have the time to be looking at their own. They're not doing Eagle search every day.
Who Googles their own company name or the business name? It's only when a problem occurs. So totally. Or when someone pops in and says, "Oh, I thought you were closed yesterday," and they will go, "No," and it said, "Well, it said on your website," and they go, "Huh?" And then they, "Ah."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's almost 8 months ago, something like that. I met up a friend in North London. I live in Southwest London, so North London's a foreign country. So we decided to meet at a restaurant, and my friend sent me the details. So I looked it up, and then he said, "Oh, this business has been relocated or closed." And then I go to this place, which I could find because it's on the maps, the pin's there, and it was there, opening, no problems. And I pointed that out to the owner, and he had absolutely no idea that his business had been marked as closed or relocated. And it'd be interesting to know how much passing trade he has lost because of that. It's impossible to tell, isn't it? Because he wasn't aware of it at all. But if I had, say, searched for restaurant near the place name or perhaps even more specifically a type of cuisine here, this place. I doubt and especially in the mobile, I don't think his restaurant would have come up because it's marked as closed or relocated. Right?
Yeah.
Google would give you restaurants that are open at the time that you're searching.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that hidden sort of lost chances for the business could be huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had a guy who, same again, he only realized when someone placed an order for something which hadn't been on his menu in like a year, and he was like, what? And he kind of had an argument with the person because they were saying, yes, I can see it on your site, and he's going, it's not on my website. And turns out it's the view menu link on the business page, which of course if you don't have it on your site, then they look for external sources of it, and there's these scraper menu places out there that basically scrape menus, and that was showing like a 2-year-old menu kind of thing and 2-year-old prices and everything. And then he was like, well, why is that there, and what the hell is this, and and it's like, okay, you need to claim it. Then we need to get, obviously, because that's been pulled through, you need to either contact them and give them your new menu or get an actual readable menu on your site. Yeah, there's loads of, perhaps Google shouldn't add the additional info to those business pages until they've been claimed or verified, because like you say, you could be, it could be causing untold problems for the business without them even realizing it.
Yeah. But I do think probably local is the strongest bit, or it has this, in a sense, how could I say this, the biggest potential within the Google Plus landscape, because it's linked to maps, because it's linked to search, and it can be vital for businesses. And I think that's why I think that, and all the issues associated with moving the local listings to the Google Plus platform, if you like, that pain to a certain extent is over now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That transition from listings to local listings, maps listings to Google Plus. And so at least they've got over that sort of very painful period, I think. Now that I don't think Google would want to make fundamental changes again to Google Plus.
Yeah, sure.
That would affect the local listings. I mean, it would be nightmare all over again, and it's going to take years.
The local business communities in Google Plus are thriving, absolutely thriving. I was invited to one the other day for carpet cleaners, because they were having some issues with, some of the members were having 600 carpet cleaners. Majority were in the States, but there was a couple of UK ones, and then it's growing like 2 or 3 a day. Just local carpet cleaners all getting together in their community to discuss, business. How do you market this? What's that? Or have you seen this? I'm just trying out this new chemical, and what do you guys think? They're thriving. The little communities, the small businesses are absolutely thriving. But then take a look at actual, I don't know about other countries, but especially in the UK, small business contributes more to this country than any other business. I don't care about these, Primarks and Nikes and Vodafones and Amazons. They all fucking hide their money. It's the small business that drives this country. So they will be the most active. They will be the most, these big businesses don't, do you know what I mean? They're just they don't have that kind of real vested interest in it. It's just another potential platform that they will pay some nameless social media person somewhere to update the page occasionally, and it's the little guys, the small businesses, the medium businesses that have a vested interest. And like we said about with all those business pages out there, that's, I think, it's key niche. And yeah, certainly advertising, like you said, but you could strip that whole, if they really thought about it, and going from listening to what you've said about businesses and the thing and that, what's LinkedIn known for? LinkedIn's known for business. Why don't they Google just go, right, well, the rest of the stuff is just not going anywhere, brand pages, blah, 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 it's just not happening. This is the way it's going to happen. This is a audience that will be there and continue to be there purely because of the visibility we give them in search. Let's just take everything from LinkedIn, everything. Just we've got all the businesses there. They're ours to own if we own it, and we might as well just strip LinkedIn out, because they're known for the business network. Well, let's have it all. So I've just sorted out. we have just sorted. There we go. We just gave Google their business plan for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I think I do think that the local is going to be a driving force, because it is, in a sense, it is where you can, I think, say reasonably that Google Plus as a platform is far advanced of Facebook for local businesses. Of course, you have fan pages and things like that on Facebook, and I think there are some certain local elements now out there on Facebook, but it doesn't have the structure or that sort of pull with a map and search that local Google Plus pages have. So, yeah, I think it would make sense, and it's quite a clear message that you can sort of present to potential audience. And it'd be interesting if they could add things like, they could copy the idea of Groupon, for example, and say, look, you have to offer local businesses discounts, for example, through their Google Plus pages.
Yeah, I'd like what I'd really like to see, or what they could really kind of grow it, is if you could, if you could kind of be more influential in the things that were shown. So hotels, for example, they have the local page, so it pulls through those prices from different bookings. Booking engines for hotels and that, which I think is a little bit of a cheek, because those are actually paid for ads from OTAs, which are appearing in the search results anyway, right there. And then why did Google have to go and chuck in a little ad into the person's business page? A little bit cheeky. If you're going to do that, at least show the business owner how to, let's say if he's a small bed and breakfast or something like that, how to mark up the price in Schema on his site and at least honor it. Give that business owner the opportunity to say, this is my price also. Yeah? Same thing with menus. Why haven't you told them how to do this? Why haven't you told them that if you don't have a menu on your site that we can read, well, we're not going to, do it. And it would be nice if you actually schema marked up the menu, like just the actual menu link on the page. That's all we need, is to say this is the menu page. Yet they will go and crawl scraping sites essentially and put a link through. So I think if they kind of gave them the business owner a little bit more control on what could be shown, that would also be a big a big thing. And there's a lot of things like by appointments, putting appointment times in.
Yeah, they can
a lot.
Calendar.
Yes, I mean a lot of smaller businesses, especially the ones which have selected as a service business, they've had to select a service business purely because, not that they're not at the offices, but because they deal with appointments, like they are, one-off dressmakers, bespoke dressmakers. They're the only one in there, and of course they don't want the public just rocking up, because then they won't be able to finish that commission dress that they're just making. Also small jewelers. So it says it on their site, it says it on their website, it says it on all their marketing material, appointments between so-and-so times, things like that. But they can't reflect it on their business page. So they have to then obviously select a service business and remove. There's a lot of, it's weird. They've set up these support centers, these call centers, which God knows how much that's costing Google, Google My Business. But yet they could probably help themselves a lot by giving the business owner, or listening to what business owners, just reading the bloody forum once in a while will show you what business owners need or want. And helping them, finding that good mix. And if they provided more info, they could probably squeeze in a couple more advertising opportunities in there. Yeah.
I was just looking at Facebook, and then the local pages suggested by Mastake. For pizza and then my hometown, only 5 results, and 2 are duplicates. That's really bad.
Yeah. And that's another kind of hiccup with the business pages. A business page could have been closed, but if there's citations mentioned anywhere, then it actually doesn't get removed, which is crazy. I had a guy on the forums, he marked his business in closed in 2008, and it's still showing. He still gets calls.
Yikes.
Since 2008. You know what I mean? All because, obviously at the point, I think he had 20 or 30 business citations, so it was Yellow Pages, Thomson Local, 118, all those kind of, City Pages, blah, 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 all those kind of business directories. Because those citations were still out there, it was marked as closed. The website didn't exist anymore. So, it's another thing. Those business pages, surely they should check if these things are still open. But how is he supposed to know? He told Google, hey, I'm closed. But they're keeping it live, saying closed, but you're still popping up in the maps. What?
How do you close that in an instance? Do you go to MapMaker and then sort of keep on closing it, or
it will still be auto-generated. You obviously, if you own the account, you would literally close it in your account. You would tell them that it's closed, and it would be the same. You could just do the same in the info panel, and suggest an edit saying this place is permanently closed, and leave a note saying, well, the shop's closed, there's nothing here, or whatever. But it will then, if it does get removed out of the database, then if there are citations elsewhere, then it becomes an auto-generated one, an unclaimed one, an unverified. It will still say permanently closed, but it's because there's other info out there that says, hey, this place still exists. It's a real bugger. It's one of the biggest flaws that they have. That someone can't say, my business is closed, and Google honors it. In the sense that, oh no, I found it mentioned here, I found it mentioned here. It's still got to be open, even though the owner who told us it's closed and has closed his account told us it's closed. We won't listen to him. We'll just, look, there's all this data here and it's got to be open.
But if there's a new business at the same address, what happens?
Well, generally, then what will happen is, obviously someone will search for their name and it won't exist. They'll create a new business page. It will be verified. At the point of verification, if it's been done properly, the other one will still be saying, it will more than likely still be saying it's permanently closed. And it can get a little bit tricky if, as I've seen, on the location markers, if it's an office building, sometimes you'll still have 2 or 3 location markers for businesses that were in room 204, or on, suite 204, and it can be a bit tricky. So it sometimes then needs a call to the business support to say, I am the new tenant in suite 204. Those 2 no longer exist. But the same problem occurs 6 months down the line. If there were some citations out there, whatever, of this other business, it pops back up again.
Well, the biggest flaw is probably that you, once you have a verified listing, that you can drag it across the country to the White House, for example.
Yeah, or MapMaker. Anybody can edit it as long as there's a couple, Yeah. That is a big flaw. That is a big flaw.
I think you searched in India, where they have all those flowerists everywhere. It was a little bit spammy. That's probably how they did it.
Well, this one was a little. That one in India that I flagged up is a little bit more dodgy. These guys, the way, obviously I don't know 100%, but what it seems to be is they have created they have a business directory, and so like Yelp or whatever, and the owner at some point says, oh look, here's my details, or they find the details, then they phone up the owner. If the owner's got a thing, and they'll say, we'll manage this for you, your business page. 9 times out of 10, it's these people don't know what's going on. Yeah, fine. So what they do is they will claim the page for the owner. The owner gets the postcard. The owner emails it through to them or phones them back up and says, this is my PIN number, and boom, they've got another one. Then they just change they tweak the name, and then all of a sudden it's selling flowers.
But that guy from the Snowden ban or something in the White House, what he did was he verified it in Seattle, and then he moved it to the White House, and he used the same PIN number to verify that one. And then you have a verified account or a verified page in the White House. He also did it for some fake CIA, FBI agencies. That's a big flaw.
It is. MapMaker's always been the big cock up.
No, it's not. It's not MapMaker. It's he really lists. He uses Google My Business to verify on an address he owns, right, or where he can get a postcard. Once he has the postcard, he has a PIN number, and then he verifies that with a PIN number. After it's verified, he moves it to the new location, and then Google asks for a new verification, and he uses that PIN, the same PIN he used for that old location, and it's accepted and verified.
That shouldn't work.
Well,
it obviously did, but that shouldn't work.
No, it shouldn't. But
no, no, it's obviously true. What I'm saying is it shouldn't work because the way it's supposed to work is that if you've made any significant change to your business details, so if you made a significant change to the address, which he obviously did when he dragged it there, or the name, which he obviously didn't change, any significant change to address, name, telephone number, things like that, it should request that you re-verify the page. And I don't know why he could have added in a... Yeah. Interesting.
From memory, he used the old PIN number for the verification.
I might have a little play with that today.
I'm searching for the post, but I cannot find it.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
But MapMaker, people continually cock up their business pages because they try and make an edit in MapMaker, and it really cocks up the business page. And wow, they've added slightly in. They thought they were editing their page or their business details in MapMaker, but they slightly changed the address. So one case, someone's address was 97 Station Road, and he had obviously mistimed. He had put 97, and then he had obviously forgotten to see that it added. So it was 97 Station Road, but it was the same business name and website and blah blah. And he created a duplicate, which was an absolute nightmare to get rid of. Of course, at the same time, then his actual business page totally tanked because there was another potential duplicate out there. Oh man. And the funniest thing is, you say, do not use MapMaker to make any changes. Make it in your business page. This conversation went on for months before the guy could get it out of his head that I should not be using MapMaker.
Okay, according to the article, quote, you create a business in Google Maps at an address where you can receive mail, and with the phone number you can receive calls to. You get Google to send you a verification postcard to the address. Once the business is verified, you delete it from your account. Then you use another Google account to claim this now orphaned business. Yeah. You gain control over it by doing verification via phone. Once that happens, you're free to move the business to anywhere you want. Change the name and alter all the details. That's how he did it for Edward Snowden.
Oh. I still don't get how he did it though. I know what he's saying, but why would it offer him a phone?
I have another 20 minutes. Shall we close this one and move to a private one, Mastakeo?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jim's sort of away at the moment, so he's not in a position to finish this broadcast. He left a message to say that we'd like to thank any viewers watching this clip, and we shall be back next Friday to do the same thing again.